thing I'll never forget with Victoria is she'll call and she'll say, am I catching you at a bad time? There is no good time in my office. But I always say, no, it's fine. But I'll never forget that.
Hi, I'd like to say this is going to be me in a few years. So I do want to say that these three people are heroes. And this is my definition of a hero. Somebody who steps up to the plate no matter what. It doesn't matter what the problem is or what the situation is. Teri, I'll never forget, you and I were sitting together, the first bingo in the cafeteria, Pam. And we were doing the X game, and John was calling the numbers. And Teri yelled out, "There's no ends!" On this little itty bitty meek person. I nearly wet my pants. She was standing right next to me, and I trembled with fear. I looked at Pam, and she was cracking up.
Because I had told her.
She had told her. So, Pam's been my hero with purchase orders. Once on the white, two on the pink, two on the yellow.
All on the left-hand side.
All on the left-hand side. Does everybody know that? So that's Pam. Teri, how many dollars, how many thousands of dollars have they raised for when it comes to Twin Lakes Food Pantry? This has really been a blessing to have Teri around. And her counterpart, John, oh my God, Teri, I feel sorry for you. But I'm really here to talk about Bob. A lot of you do not know, but Bob used to be housed here in this building. And with Health Science 1, we used to train people with fire extinguishers so they knew how to be in healthcare, how to put out a fire. And we were very specific about two things. Number one, always back out away from your fire. Always back up away from your fire. And then please do not wear anything loose fitting or anything when we're doing the fire training, because he actually did produce a fire so that they could put out the fire with a fire extinguisher. And we had one little young lady who didn't listen to that, and she was wearing a skirt, and it got very windy. Up went the skirt, down went the fire extinguisher, and the girl went running away in absolute terror because she had been exposed. So, thank you, Bob, for weeding out one person who will never make it in the healthcare industry. But she probably will make it in the fashion industry. But a lot of you do not know about this hero, because anytime I would sit there and say, how many emails have you guys gotten? I need guys' pants size 54, or I need a suit for somebody who needs to go for a job interview. A lot of you guys don't know. Bob donated that. If I said I needed something or a coverage, Bob did that. A lot of you don't know how much he's actually donated to this school. If you say I need something, Bob donated that. And he never asked for anything in return. So, to my firefighter hero, you will always be my hero. Pam, you will always be my hero for purchase orders. And I will never forget, once on the white, two on the pink, two on the yellow. And make sure that all of your calculations are accurate. So thank you to your three, and God bless you both.
Hello. I have all these papers to go through. I am a vocational instructor, right? Most of us in this room who are vocational instructors actually did something totally different before we became teachers. Our goal as young adults was not to become teachers. Our goal now might be the same. What happened was, in our passion for what we did in our profession, we realized we needed to share that, each and every one of us. And so I came to teaching at the age of 34. How old were you when you came to teaching, Bob?
I started in '02, so I really am not sure.
It's okay, you're not a math teacher, you're good.
No. You wanna know how to use a fire extinguisher? Call me.
You guys, I've had the pleasure of working with Bob for decades. He was the fire chief when I had students at the fire department. And when he approached the age of retirement, I talked to him about coming to Twin Lakes and doing this program. I felt it was something that would be very beneficial to us. As a fireman, EMT, Bob has been able to share his knowledge and love for his career with so many of our Twin Lakes students. And the other day when I was in the fire department, I looked around and saw just how many of our local firefighter EMTs went through his program. And it made my heart smile. Bob has helped me team teach several things. We do the community emergency response training with light search and rescue, and he's been there every time I've needed somebody to help me do that. So I just want to tell you thank you very much. And put together just a little thing. He comes in looking like the teaching teaches you very much about yourself, and it helps to keep you focused and on track. Again, thank you for your service in so many ways to our community. That's about it.
I think this is the quietest I've ever seen Teri. And I'm pretty sure she skipped today because she knew I'd say something about her, so probably better not record this. She'll kill me later. But if you've ever been on the receiving end of Teri's anger, anyone? It's not pretty. When I first started teaching here, there were two people that really scared the hell out of me. Those two. And I thought about going back to Korea. They both were. But once I figured out, because I had other teachers, the only people who left here that are older than me who helped me figure it out are now our bosses. And they both kind of explained, well, if you give Pam chocolate and Diet Coke and talk about her babies, you're in good shape. It's too late for you because she's leaving. But it really did work. I mean, she was a lot nicer when I gave her chocolate. Because usually I got my head ripped off and handed to me. So, but I got everything down now, and now I got to learn a whole new person. That's kind of sucky. So, Teri, on the other hand, I could basically summarize it and say that we had a student teacher one time. That's it. That's all we had, because she wasn't going to take any more of them. And that one person did not make it through the 6 weeks, because they came in on day one and said, yeah, I thought I could do this. Anybody can teach. And Teri just went. And he didn't make it. He did not make it. It's probably the only person that ever got an F in student teaching. She made sure he understood what teaching was like. So day one, he came in like this, and she'll vouch for me. And by the third week, he was hobbling out of here like someone had kneecapped him. And that was only week 3. And by the end of it, I wasn't even sure he was here. He missed 6 days because I think he was afraid to come to work. And the thing is about Teri is that, you know, with her being as gruff and businesslike as she has been, it was always righteous anger, and that it was all about business. It was all about getting the job done. So she would help you, but first she was going to make sure you understood why you needed help. And she explained that in very blunt terms, which is where I get it. So if any of you have ever thought I was a little blunt, maybe once or twice, that's where it comes from. Is because it gets the job done and people understand it when you say it in plain English. So I appreciate that. She's been Aunt Teri to me through a lot of bad things that have happened, and Pam also. And Bob not so much, but that's because he's out saving lives and teaching people how to save lives. So that's all good, because that comes back around. I've had to have some of his students take me to the hospital, so, you know, he probably
Good
saved
job.
my life. So, you know, I appreciate that, and there are a lot of other things I could say about all of them, but I want to, you know, get out of here and go test my kids so I can give them the same face, loving face that Teri gives them at this time of year. And that's it.
Another thing that we need to remember is that next fall, we're gonna come back to a new secretary, you guys, so be patient. She's not gonna know all the stuff.
They forgot punch me,
My turn.
Yep.
Okay, I'm not, I got Terry Roscoe's 2 minutes now, okay? So I'm supposed to say something about Bob, I'm gonna say a few good words and that's it, okay? No, really. No, I've known Bob for like 28 years, something like that. I met him when I was in the nursing home as a supervisor and he was a fire inspector. And then I came to teach here and Bob shows up again. And then I moved into Monticello 10 years ago or so, and there's Bob, he's my neighbor. And I just want to let you know that Bob's been a great guy and a great friend all these years, and he's like a bad penny, he might show up here. That's it, that's all.
couple things to say is, Pam's probably the first person that I met, besides Brooks, here at Twin Lakes, and she had to deal with me not knowing anything about bills and paperwork, et cetera, and so, I would say Susan did a great job of explaining all your extra hats you wear, but you are like the chief multitasker. I mean, I see you doing something and somebody come, you know, and it's been great, so. And then Bob, I probably known Bob about as long as you have. I don't really know him that well as a Twin Lakes employee as I do from Remington. But I thought I'd tell you real quick about the hats he wears. So he serves on the town council in Remington with me, which also means you're on the building services board, and it means Bob's on the Remington-Wolcott Development Corps board. And then he's been a firefighter in Remington, so he's changed locations from Monticello to Remington. And I first knew his dad, who was my neighbor. So that's been years and years ago. So anyway, thank you both for all the years here at Twin Lakes. Thank you.
We gotta go, but congratulations, best wishes, don't forget about it.
This is so